So I didn't exactly feel like making this video because I feel like I addressed most of my points in my other video about Laufey. But recently my friend Troy Smith sent me a clip of Patrick Bartley giving his take on whether or not jazz should be saved.
Why do we have to be saving jazz when you could take the opposite side of it and save pop?
It just seems like whenever an artist explodes, it seems like the media will constantly go on this roundabout discussing whether or not they saved a certain genre. Bands like Polyphia and Greta Van Fleet, as much as I love them, are constantly hailed as the ones who are saving guitar. Forgive me, but I do not share the same enthusiasm that much of the internet has when it comes to Laufey saving jazz. If you haven't been paying attention to jazz outside Michael Bublé for the last 70 years, you would know that jazz is a pretty thriving genre. Jazz doesn't need a single esoteric figure to come and save the genre. There are already thousands of musicians working to expand it each and every day. Would you say Billie Eilish is saving jazz with Billy Bossa Nova? No? So then why with Laufey? So what do you exactly think about the media basically saying Laufey is reviving jazz?
I think it's overhyped at this point now. Because everyone thinks that she's like this new savior of jazz, which is already kind of stretchy because, I mean, the main problem I have with it, it's not inherently because I like Laufey, but it's just like a lot of styles, like jazz, hip hop, R&B, or whatever. Every time that there's like a new savior, quote unquote, or someone that's like doing something in a similar fashion, there's always someone who's like white when we're like talking about like predominantly black art forms, right? Or African American, to be more specific. I mean, I'm not saying that if you're white or anything else, you shouldn't play jazz. That's definitely not the point. But I don't know. Just there's kind of like this thing in like the music industry where it's just like nothing is cool until a white person does it. Like we've even seen it like even with Elvis Presley and all that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of fucked in and of itself. Am I allowed to swear on this thing?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Yeah, that's my main problem with it.
Yeah.
The next thing, number 2, I feel like there's too much overemphasis on just like trying to be unique or whatever, just like doing this new sound thing. It's like a lot of being unique these days is really just pulling from like retro sounds. Well, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's like just because it's technically been done before, but it's like you're putting your own twist on it. But putting your own twist on anything is basically what keeps music alive in the first place. So I don't know why we romanticize so much about, I don't know, so-and-so doing this, reviving X, Y, Z.
In terms of jazz being unpopular, do you think that Gen Z already listens to jazz? Do you think Laufey is introducing jazz to a new generation?
I will say, well, since jazz is already pretty underground, especially since it's being like the popular style of music, there's definitely a number of people in our generation that care about playing jazz, but as far as like being commercially viable, I don't think so.
What are your thoughts on basically the Laufey predicament where they're saying she's saving jazz?
Well, I don't think anyone can really save jazz. I think jazz is something that will always exist, but will never be as popular as it was in like the 1940s, 1950s. And it will always, there will always be like movements in music that influence from jazz and borrow from things. But I don't think Laufey is saving jazz. I think it's very similar to with rock, where every few years someone is saving rock. But I don't think rock is ever going to make like a full comeback. I think there will just be movements that borrow from people like Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay, thanks for the interview. Thank you so much for watching that. If you disagree or agree, comment below. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much, and thank you to the people that I interviewed. But yeah, I hope you subscribe. Thank you.